Last session we were not in prison, right? We escaped the session before that?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So this is the third session.
Okay, so the first session we were all in prison, and then this man in black, who we thought was the man in black, at first, that'll come to light in a little bit. He's a little more grayish. Maybe a man in charcoal. Anyways, he came to rescue us, and we flew the coop, finding out that the thing that we were looking for before was the master Palantiri, or was it one of them? Anyways, the master Palantiri had been taken from a tower, or from the cell. That was it. A huge tower.
It was the big tower. Yeah,
Big tower.
It was the big tower, right? So that was taken from the top, and what is it? It's not the magistrate, is it?
it's the regent.
The regent. I always get that.
To Vic, it's always the magistrate. That's fine.
Yeah,
You can call it the magistrate.
So the regent is always. He's been corrupt by the shadow, apparently, and so we decided to try and follow the next course of action, which was going to the hell's the name of that place?
You went to the Cottage of Lost Play. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, first we went to the Cottage of Lost Play, and then they gave us some tips as to where to go for what the hell?
You
Find the Palantiri or figure out what was going on with it.
Yeah, so you went there to go to the Library of Cortirian, so you could find out more information, possibly look in the Golden Book. Right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, they were going to tell us to go look in the Golden Book and figure out what we were going to do next. But then now that we got to Cortirian, the Golden Book is gone. The Man in Black was there. There were a couple of beasts that we ran into that were, what were they, ice guys?
Yeah, they were ice guys.
They were ice
Yeah,
guys.
and then Ilfrin Littleheart asked us to search for the mallet for the gong.
Right.
Yes,
We have handouts.
The Gong of Tombo. Do you want to, while you have the quest journal open, Spriggs, do you want to talk about the quest items that haven't been covered?
So we haven't found the Master Palantiri yet. We're still looking for that. I believe the Man in Black has it. The Golden Book was taken by him as well.
And they think the Golden Book has some like arcane rituals in it, possibly to sort of mimic the ritual that you guys did in Middle Earth to open a hole to in the void.
Yeah. To get us to Talbor, right?
Not to get us to Talbor. That part of your quest journal is, I mean, possibly it could get you to Talbor, but you are looking for Talbor, which is anybody?
Talbor is the
Is that the ship?
No, that was the burial place in the not altar, but
Stone of the Hapless.
Stone of the
Thank
Hapless.
you, Stone of the Hapless. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is the burial place of Turin Turambar.
Yep.
And you're gonna find out more about Turin tonight. So the last thing that you guys did in the last session was Merrill, who was the keeper of Cortirian in the library there. She said that the shadow tried to forge a weapon, and she said basically, if you want to find out more about Turin Turambar, the Stone of the Hapless, and we don't have the Golden Book anymore, so you need to seek out one of our lore masters. And Gilfanon in Tavrobel is really, he's one of the eldest elves in Eressëa. He lives at the House of 100 Chimneys, and so they sent you to Tavrobel to meet Gilfanon. And this is the last map that we had open in our last session. So you're here to seek out Gilfanon, to find out more about the Stone of the Hapless or Talbor, and find out about any of your other things that we just talked about, your quest items. So you're here. And anything else for the good of the order before I start tonight's narrative?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Before Gilfanon greets you, let's make. So you're starting today at the House of 100 Chimneys, and you need to start off doing your Blighted Lands checks for having traveled here. So you need 2 Blighted Lands checks, which is a Wisdom 15 DC save. Abby, if you want to click on your token, and actually, could somebody else do that for Riken? It might be easier. Yeah. Vic said he'd do it for Riken. Yeah, but it's okay. Don't worry about this part of it.
So that's Morloman. So he's a pass once.
I have Riken up right now.
Okay, you guys just... I'll let you sort of... You guys can keep track of this. Somebody tell Abby whether she passes it, and I can record for Riken.
How many do you say?
2.
2.
And Tessero needs to do 2 additional days worth of his trauma rolls.
Balls.
All right, so
Riken
pass
with those days.
Riken pass them both. Great. Okay. So Abby, what we do when we travel in blighted lands that are affected by the shadow, the characters have to basically make a fortitude save almost to or they're affected by the lands.
What's the DC, Tessero?
15.
Oh shit.
No, that was for my second one though, which has a DC of 8.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Garrett.
Yes.
Sorry, did you say we traveled a couple days?
2 days.
2 days. So does that mean we got long rest then?
No, I don't think you guys haven't opted. I mean, if you want to take the long rest, that's up to you. You guys opted to not take a long rest.
Take a short, yeah.
If you want to take a long rest, I hadn't planned for that. I remember I said you told me you wanted to do a short rest, and I was sort of planned for that.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize we were traveling a couple days, but that's fine. So then everybody will. Oh no, because that's after. Hold on, I gotta read that fucking ability again.
If you want to tell Abby, Jared, I added 2 more.
She can hear you.
Oh, I added 2 more things to your bar. One of them is going to be unarmed no fury, and one of them is going to be unarmed fury. So if you swing with your sword and you miss on either one of the attacks, you get to unarmed strike the person. So if you're in battle fury mode, you'll use one with fury and without fury.
So basically, if you are fighting and it's your turn, and you're in fury, and you click the sword button, the battle raging sword button up top, and you miss, you get to click another button that's unarmed.
And those shouldn't be showing up as separate buttons or anything, right? I still have just the 4 buttons showing. That's right.
Click off of him and then click back on him, and they'll both pop up at the top.
Yeah, it's some new ones. Yeah, so you got to click off of your token.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see him now.
All right, guys. So did anybody fail any of their blighted lands rolls?
I've got to do mine real quick.
Ow!
Yeah, I'm on mine now. So Morloman failed 1, so I added that to his list.
Okay. Did you see where he was keeping track?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And I failed both of mine.
Oh, jeez. Oh man, wait until Burin is miserable and has a bout of madness.
I'm at 4 out of 12 right now.
You have 4 points or 4 left?
I have 4 total.
Okay.
And 12 is my wisdom score, so...
MJ just got shot with a Nerf gun by his wife. Are you here, MJ?
Yeah, man, she's vicious.
Yeah.
She came around the corner and blasted me.
Yeah.
She's a woman, you can't trust her.
Everybody also has 14 temporary hit points at the start of this.
So Abby, click on your token, and in the blue circle, you can click in the blue circle and put 14. Did you say 14, Vic?
Yep, 14 because I gained a level.
Okay.
So these are hit points on top of your 99.
Is there a way to link that to the character sheet?
You can, you can.
Under temporary hit points, but it doesn't actually add it to your max. You have to just manually take them off.
Yep.
At this late in the game, when we get hit for more than 14 most of the time anyway, so it just sponges some of the first hit.
Yep.
All right, so you guys arrive at the house of 100 Chimneys. You've been traveling for 8 days. You are. It's April 23rd. The first full moon that Faradir is going to have to weather is on day 14, so on April 29th. So he has about 6 days left before before he is going to transform into the wolf.
Can I ask you something about that?
Yeah.
Does he need to see the moon for that?
No.
Okay.
Nope, he does not.
Which is balls because of this.
Because what?
Because I could have put clouds up there.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. But, I mean, he may not even be outside, you know. All right. So Gilfanon greets you at the door. He looks a little disheveled. He's an elf. Let me show you what he looks like here. I'm going to pop something up on your screen. And he's going to look a little bit like Loki.
Oh,
No.
nice.
So you got reindeer games going on?
Yeah. So he comes to greet you, but again, his hair is a little disheveled. He looks a little. He's kind of speaking erratically a little bit, and he says, please come inside. He says, take a look behind you. There's a foul wind here in Tavrobel. And so
sorry, go ahead.
he says, do you see the discolored fog moving on the wind behind you?
Is that the purple stuff?
Yeah. He says it's called the evil breath, and some of you, actually, Vic, you would know like firsthand what the evil breath is if you want to look at your lore cards. I'll move you all in. If you agree to go inside, I'll move you inside, and you can tell everybody what the evil breath is.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody else okay with going inside?
Yep.
Sure.
So as we're going in, I say in the first stage, an evil wind came out of Angaband and poisoned the people of Dorloman. Among those who died was Turambar's little sister.
So if you guys can move yourself inside, he kind of moves himself through the house, and it's like barren, sparse, like it almost looks like no one lives here. And he shuts up the doors and the windows. He double checks all the windows to make sure everything is closed. And he says you must be the ones that have traveled from Middle Earth, the Nos Glenador. He says, are you trailing? Are you following the shadow?
We're trying to.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we are.
He's come this way, and you can tell that he's had a negative impact on this area, on our home, and on our he says even the flora and fauna have been affected, and he says unfortunately those that I keep have also been affected by the shadow.
I start playing a little song to try and soothe him because he's it looks like he's pretty shaken up.
He is, yeah. So you do a performance check. Okay.
Does he have any knowledge of like where the shadow is now?
He said that. So he sits down when Vic starts playing, and you see him like he's like when you address him, he kind of like sits up with a start, like he was trying to not that he was asleep, but that he was like almost like elves do in D&D, like when they go into a trance. And he was startled out of it, and he says, the shadow, when I saw the shadow pass and the evil wind, the evil breath was upon us, I locked myself inside, but Meryl sent word that you were coming. So he says, the evil breath is not something that we've seen here in Eressëa before. Only those in Beleriand have seen it firsthand. And many Atani, that's humans again, have passed away because of it. And he looks at you and he says, you are not the first Atani. And he looks at Riken and Faradir, who are the humans among you. And then also Burin the dwarf, he says, you are not the first Atani that have come to these shores.
We're the first.
He says that every time one of the second-born come, they believe that they're here for some sort of divine purpose to possibly stop the end of the world or for some other grandiose reason. He says, let me guess, you think you're here to stop the end of the world?
Well, in fact, we are.
He laughs.
Dagorath or whatever.
Yeah, he laughs. He said, there have been two groups before you that have come. He says the first are now resting in the Cave of the Forgotten. And MJ, you have this lore card if you want to share with people what it is. And you've actually heard of the Cave of the Forgotten before. Nick, you might have even heard of the Cave of the Forgotten. The Caves of the Forgotten.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Cave of the Forgotten is when the Numenorian army broke the ban of the Valar and invaded Aman, the Uluvatar, thrust the hills upon the army, thus imprisoning the great army until the end of days. The Caves of the Forgotten are beneath the hills of Tuna, upon which the great city of Tyrion is built.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, so MJ is originally from Tyrion. Tyrion is the home of the Noldor elves on Aman, right? It's the huge continent where the gods live, right next to Eressëa. And at one point, the Numenorians thought, you know what? I think we'll just go take over Aman. And they invaded, and Iluvatar, the one god, actually intervened in that case and drowned Numenor. He thrust the hills upon Ar-Pharazôn's army, and now they rest forevermore in the Caves of the Forgotten, waiting for the end of days. And MJ, MJ and Vic actually both met with the king of Tyrion, the king of the Noldors, and you know that he's nervous. His whole household, his whole kingdom is built upon Tuna, the hill of Tuna, which is underneath of which there's an army buried, waiting for the end of days. And so, again, there's a bunch of humans buried next door that are going to come again and not be very happy. So
that sounds dreadful.
Yeah.
He says they were not the only Atani to come to the Undying Lands. We once had a visitor named Ariel who came to learn the history of this land, but was later lured by the drink of the elves to have eternal life. He eventually passed and is buried in the tombs of the House of 100 Chimneys. He is the one that I keep, and he is the one that has been disturbed by the shadow.
Is there anything we can do to help besides getting rid of the shadow?
He says, I am not a warrior. I have locked up the cellar, but while you were here, if you could help clear help put Ariel to rest, I would be glad to help you on your quest in any way that I can.
Okay. Is Ariel in the cellar?
He is, and he's awake.
Oh, that doesn't sound very good.
Does Gilfanon have any information about the mallet or the golden book or anything like that? Does he know anything about those?
He seems to, as soon as you mention that you're going to help, he starts moving towards and is kind of like almost like catatonic, like in his or like very like OCD, like he doesn't really hear anything else. He starts heading to the cellar and he starts unbolting these things on this massive door.
Okay, I put more Loman here.
Abby, I had a question. What was it?
Who is Ariel again?
Someone want to?
Little Mermaid?
Did I get the name wrong?
I'll share a picture of you. So this is the picture you would see anytime you Google Book of Lost Tales.
Okay.
Again, these are the books that Tolkien wrote when he was first experimenting with the idea of writing a mythology for England. And Ariel, in his Book of Lost Tales, is the father of Horsa and Hengist. And if you've studied any of your Old English histories, they are sort of the fathers of those are actually sort of Anglo-Saxon myths embedded in English history, and so he rolled his Middle Earth Eressëa mythology into the one that exists for England. So Ariel is supposedly the father of Horsa and Hengist, but we know Ariel in a little different light. He came to Eressëa and stayed here, and obviously had a very different fate. All right.
Gotcha.
Marco just texted me. All right, so this is what Ariel used to look like, and again, if you're looking at sort of the longitudinal Middle Earth kind of history, the whole Eressëa, Ariel, Gilfanon story was like way before anything else that you've ever read or watched on the silver screen. This is something that he sort of played with, and eventually Eressëa became a part of the Blessed Realm. But Eressëa was one of the first things that Tolkien ever wrote about. Remember, with the poems he wrote about Cortirion in the the Cottage of Lost Play.
Mm-hmm.
It was his way of so Ariel was sort of the protagonist, and he would travel through Eressëa and learn from Lindo and Vare and Gilfanon, and he would learn about the history of the elves in the British Isles, supposedly back in the day. So that's a little sort of meta history. Is that clear? He was one of the humans that have come to Eressëa.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of. It's
Wow.
clear enough.
Clear enough for somebody who just started playing with us, right?
Yes.
All right, Marco's not coming, so maybe he's also getting laid, Vic.
Awesome.
Vic was late, Abby. He was indisposed.
Vic's just a little faster than Marco. Okay.
Oh, I mean, it's been going on all day. We had an early dinner. Yeah.
2 minutes in heaven are better than no minutes in heaven.
That's right.
As your wife, I'll just be quiet.
Hey man,
Nice.
That's all good. Whatever it takes.
Abby should come more often.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's what she says too.
Perfect.
Welcome to the group, hon. She just texted me a smiley face.
It's 3 hours of this.
Yeah,
That's pretty much.
This is the Cottage of Lost Play. All right, so Gilfanon comes over to the top of the stairs, and basically, like, before he slides the last bolt, he peeks his head out with his crazy eyes, and he says, "Are you coming?"
You're like,
Not yet.
Why can't they come up here?
Oh, he just waves his hands. He says, "No, he cannot. Ariel cannot come here. We must keep him in where he is, in the crypt."
Oh,
Why is he in the crypt? Is he dead?
was that?
Well, he was dead.
Okay.
So is this like Brecken's father all over again?
Yeah.
That was a pretty messed up episode.
Okay, that was it. And okay, so what do you guys think? Looking at everybody else, I mean, I don't see why he can't come up here.
He says, "We must be quick. The evil breath will be upon us before you make up your mind. Hurry, quick!"
I say go to the basement.
Let's give this guy let's give the evil breath a mint and take our time making a decision here. I've been around 6,000 years. Nothing happens too quickly.
All right,
What say you, Bern?
You start looking out the window, and the wind is actually blowing the discolored fog towards you.
Oh, okay, he's not getting.
I'm a dwarf. I'm never in a hurry.
Let's say, okay, well, let's go down before the evil breath stenches our nostrils.
Before you have morning evil breath.
Yeah, morning evil breath.
All right. Can I take you to the next map? Everybody on board?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.